What is up, you guys? I'm back on the R9 today, and don't look too closely at it. It's kind of covered in coolant at the moment. I'll explain why here in a minute, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it for a ride and talk about something I've seen come up a lot. It's kind of like I don't want to say a hot take, but there's a lot of people that argue about it, and I'm sure you saw already by the title and thumbnail. Basically, I'm gonna be comparing this bike to the Yamaha R6 and basically talking about why I chose this over the R6 or any other 600. But before we get into that, as you can see right here, we have my not brand new but new to me Z125 that I picked up yesterday. I'm gonna be posting a video about this really soon, but this thing is really nice. I was riding it around for a couple hours yesterday and it's so much fun. This thing only has like 1,000 miles on it. It's got a full Yoshi exhaust, and I only paid like $1,000 for this thing somehow. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna be making a video about that probably tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. Let's get a little cold start here on the R9. I guess a hot start. It's 90 degrees outside. Oh man, the sound of this bike never gets old. Riding this feels kind of weird after riding the Z all day yesterday. That bike probably weighs like 150 pounds. So if you followed me for a little while, you'll know that I've had this bike for about 2 months now. And before I bought the R9, I had a 2025 ZX6R that I traded in for it. But ever since I bought this bike, I've seen so many people arguing online about how this bike is so much worse than the R6 and they just should have kept the R6 as Yamaha's main middleweight bike. Because if you don't know, Yamaha stopped producing the R6 as a street legal sport bike. You can still buy a brand new R6, but it won't have like tail lights, blinkers. I think it has headlights, but that's about it. So if you want to ride a brand new R6 on the street, you have to do like a full conversion to make it street legal. Yeah, I see so many people arguing online about how the R6 is such a better bike than the R9 and it's faster and it has more horsepower and all this stuff. So then obviously as a result of that, I've had a lot of people like texting me asking why in the world would I buy this bike instead of an R6. And so I thought about it for a little bit and I came up with like 5 main reasons why I did that. And the first one wasn't really that much of like an influencing factor, but when I was looking to buy this bike, I actually did look just to see what like the price of a brand new R6 would be. And MSRP on one of those is $13,500, which that seems kind of insane to me for a 600, especially when you're gonna have to spend all that extra money to make it street legal. So you'd probably be looking at over $14,000, or no, after like dealership, taxes, title, whatever, you're probably looking at over 15 or 16 grand just to have a street legal brand new R6. Whereas this bike, MSRP on the new R9s are like 12.5, I believe, and I got this thing for 12.8 out the door, which was a pretty good deal, especially considering most dealerships are trying to get like 14, 15 grand out of them. But yeah, the price of this bike versus the new R6 is definitely one of the things that made me go with this bike. Because I don't know, I mean, compared to other 600s, I think a brand new 636, you can find one for like 10 or 11 grand. And in my opinion, a 636 is a better bike than an R6. So it just seems kind of silly to spend that much on an R6. And as far as I'm aware, an R6 doesn't even have any of the technology of like a new bike. Like this bike has cruise control like I'm using right now. It's got so much other stuff, but as far as I'm aware, an R6 still has all the features from like 10-year-old R6. So yeah, that's definitely the first reason that I kind of chose this bike over an R6. And the second reason I chose this Yamaha R9 over an R6, I guess this didn't really influence me while I was looking for this bike because I wasn't necessarily like debating between getting the two. I'm just talking about basically just comparing the two and deciding which is better. But I've seen a lot less availability on the new R6s versus the R9, and I'm sure that has something to do with like Yamaha cutting down on production because they're going like full track instead of making them street legal. But I've only seen like a small handful of listings for R6s local to me, whereas the R9s, they're becoming a lot more popular lately. I swear I see like 3 new R9s pop up at every like local meet I go to, which I'm not super happy about because I bought this bike and it was kind of unique. Like nobody owned one, nobody had really seen them around, which I mean that still is the case. I saw people come up to me and they're like freaking out because they've never seen this bike in real life, but that is becoming less and less of the case. that's definitely one thing I consider if you're like, for some reason, if you're debating between the two bikes. I say for some reason because to me it's a no-brainer picking this bike over a brand new R6. And reason number 3 why I picked this bike over an R6, I haven't really done a ton of research into like the reliability of the R6s. I mean, I know the old ones are pretty reliable. I'm not too sure about the new ones. But even considering the R6 is a pretty reliable bike, the motor in this bike, the CP3, is pretty much like notorious for being bulletproof. Like, people stun out like MT-09s and they abuse those things, and they last pretty well. And obviously this bike hasn't been out for a super long time, so there's probably gonna be like little flaws that come out here and there. But altogether, this seems like a really reliable bike to me, considering it's essentially just an MT-09 with a different frame. Up until yesterday, I would have been able to claim that I've had no issues with this bike as far as reliability. And there's a sheriff pulling out right behind me. But unfortunately, I was riding the other day and I noticed that I could smell something burning. And I couldn't tell what it was at first. I knew I wasn't leaking oil or anything. So I pulled over and I looked at the side of my bike and I noticed I was dripping coolant, which I was like terrified that I blew up the radiator or something. But I pulled my fairing off, and basically what happened is the bolt that holds the coolant reservoir in place, there's 2 of them. There's one on the bottom, one on the top, and the one on the top somehow came loose. So basically my reservoir was just like dangling with one bolt attached. So it was just like dumping coolant. It dumped it onto my exhaust, and now my exhaust is covered in like black shit, which I'm kind of upset about, but I'm just glad it wasn't a huge issue. I had a bolt sitting around that fit, so I just threw that in there. No big deal. But yeah, other than that, I've really not heard anybody complaining about issues on this bike. So yeah, third reason why I picked this bike over the Yamaha R6 is probably going to be reliability. Another thing is I do like to do wheelies and stuff that's not exactly easy on the engine. So I was a little bit less worried buying a bike like this where so many people have already like beat the shit out of it and tested it, and I know it's going to be good. I'm going to pull over here so this cop can pass me. Hate riding with one behind me. And he turned as well. So reason number 4 why I picked this Yamaha R9 over the R6 is because of, for lack of a better word, the fun factor. Now there's no arguing that the R6 is an amazing track bike, but in my opinion, that's really all it's got going for it. I mean, the R6 is extremely uncomfortable compared to this bike, and the handlebars are lower, the foot pegs are higher, and it's also just not as enjoyable to ride if I'm being honest. I've ridden a couple R6s and they're fun if you're just like ripping, going fast, like taking corners, whatever, but just like as a daily bike, it really kind of sucks. But like when it comes to comparing 2 bikes in a similar class where one of them can do absolutely everything really well and then the other one just excels at one specific thing, which is pretty much track riding, I mean, it's kind of an obvious choice which one most people should go with. I enjoy a lot more styles of riding than just going fast or taking corners. I like doing wheelies. I'm not like a stunt rider, but I put in some time to get good at them, and this is a really good bike for that, considering that it does have the CP3. The Yamaha R6 on the other hand, I almost never see people wheeling those, and if I do, it's just someone chasing out a power wheelie, whereas I've already seen multiple stunt riders pick up this bike. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is this bike can do it all pretty well. The R6 on the other hand, it really can't. And also when I'm riding this bike, I can just put cruise control on and sit back and just like relax, whereas if you're on R6, you have to be constantly crouched over the handlebars. It just gets to a point where you wish you didn't always have to have that super aggressive sport bike, but obviously that is a personal preference. I just think that most people would probably agree with me. And obviously it is comfortable, it can do all these different things, but it still is a fast bike. It's like almost as fast, if not just as fast as an R6, and it can still corner pretty freaking well. And the last and final reason why I picked this bike over a Yamaha R6 it's another personal preference, but for me, it's the sound. And I know a lot of people love the sound of an R6, but at the end of the day, it's just another 4-cylinder to me. I'm gonna turn around real quick. Like in my opinion, pretty much every 4-cylinder sounds about the same. Obviously, some sound better than others, like a triple R 5-blade is gonna sound better than like a 25-year-old Gixxer. But at the same time, I just personally love the sound of a triple. I've had a couple of them. I had two Daytona 675s. I had a MV Agusta F3. Those are both triples. And I just love the sound of a triple. I mean, it's unique. You really don't hear them that often. And I know there's going to be people that disagree with me on this one. Like people that fanboy over the R6. They love the high revving inline 4. But this is why I picked this bike over the R6 or any other 600. Get some videos for Instagram real quick. But yeah, those are the main 5 reasons why I picked this bike over an R6. Next time someone tries to question me or ask why I picked this bike, I'm gonna just send them this video because I've explained it way too many times. But yeah, if you enjoyed, consider subscribing and whatnot. Now, if you have any other questions about this bike or what I've done to it, what I plan to do to it, or just what I think about it, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely answer. And yeah, I'll see you next time, probably on the Z125.